Mhm. One thing. Venezuela. How was your live today, Miss West Africa? You held it down for the Somali, the East Africans. Did you hold it down? How you gonna come up on two different profiles, Patty? She's all let me switch up into my backup account just in case I start cussing and crashing out. That's what she's done.
Nah, I'm chilling today.
How are you?
I'm good. Today I've been dealing with FBAs. I've been having to fight FBAs today because of Somalis. I've been defending Somalis today.
Putting in work. Okay, West Patty. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard. Especially, it just shows Pan Africanism, so keep
Yeah,
fighting the good fight.
I'm fighting for Somalis. Those are my people.
FBAs are going in on them.
Yeah, even though some Somalis don't even like West Africans, but
And I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Wes. I think it's just a
I'm still
lot
gonna
of
fight for them though.
that's the spirit. That's the spirit, Patty, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of diaspora wars even going on within the continent. So
Yeah.
it's good to lead by example, even though, I'm not perfect either. I had some Eritreans over here talking shit about West Africans too, talking shit about Nigerian. But it's so funny because when you find them in their own, like, you find them in their own panels, and it's funny because the East Africans be tearing up on each other. It's part of like those roasting culture.
We do
But
because I just saw Ethiopians saying that Trump is doing the right thing or something, or saying
right,
Somalis to go back.
exactly.
And it's like, what?
Right. And FBAs love to come in those panels and just like take notes, because at the end of the day, they're just looking for ammunition. But I feel like even with all the roasting going on, I still feel like there's some cohesion, because it's like we're roasting amongst ourselves. So it's like even if we roast each other, like we know where we stand, and if like anybody attacked them, then they'd be ready to consolidate and fight back. Um, it's kind of a weird way to look at it, but that's how I'm looking at it, because after they're done roasting each other, they just end up laughing at their own jokes, right? And being like,
Yeah.
"All right, you got me there, or you got me here." But it's what the United States is doing to everyone. So it's like they find themselves in the same kind of they're the laughing stock. They're the laughing joke to everyone, right? So I think a symptom of that is them just roasting each other, because they want to up one another and be like, well, you're going to be next, right? You Ethiopians, you Eritreans. Get if the Somalis are going to deport you, well, guess who's next? So it's just it's funny, it's sad, but it's funny at the same time.
The thing is, bro, it's not this. We're not all the same on the. If you go on census.gov, and I say it all the time, like you see me say it, Somali Americans, like by ethnicity, they're the poorest people in America, and so
Mhm.
it's not the same to compare them to other groups,
Right,
other
and they're
immigrants in the
less.
country.
They're less than 1% of the immigrants there. So it's like,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not
it's
so
like
much
that.
against them, bro. But I'm just trying to say that it's not a same comparison to compare them to other immigrants because it is. Yeah, they're doing pretty bad in America. That's just the truth, man.
How
Right,
do you know
but at
that?
the same time, they're saying,
It's on
"Oh, these people,
census.gov, bro.
these people." Hold on, brother. At the
So
same time,
that
though,
that
they get a
tells
lot of.
everything. The census.
Hold on, my brother. Let me introduce you. At the same time, though, they got a lot of hate because of the Somalis that are, frauding, or they're
Yeah,
living luxury lives in these neighborhoods. And it's like
yeah,
they target them. And I feel for the Somalis, it's kind of a flex. They're like, if you guys want to come at us, then all right, we'll troll black, we'll troll back. I said troll
yeah,
black,
yeah, yeah.
but you know what I
Bro,
mean. But it's kind
they
of
came
like,
for their
it's an
necks.
irony. It's a really an irony, because I mean, if they're the lowest common denominator, then that's who they attack, because they think that they're not supported by their own community, not realizing that that community is strong. And that's what it is, brother. On top of being Muslim people, on top of them having unification in Minnesota, Minneapolis, it's that they're fearful of these people becoming bigger than what they are, and it's just and so that's why there's a lot of attention towards it, and the FBAs can't wait to attack these people. They've been waiting for the
Yeah,
first African immigrants to get deported,
exactly,
right after
exactly.
the Mexican ones. So it's kind of ironic and it's kind of contradictory, but whatever. We stand with the Somalis, we stand with the East Africans, we stand with the
You
Africans in
know,
general.
a lot of this is it's got racism behind it, racism and xenophobia. Because if you think about it, Indian people who make the most in America, they have the average income. It's like their household income. I think it was like over 100,000, man. The last time I checked. And I think I'm not, don't quote me on that, but I do know that they're the highest income people in America. But yet they got the same thing from Trump supporters, telling them to go back to India, and saying they come from a third world country and stuff. The same type of rhetoric. So it doesn't really matter how good you do, really. I mean, these people will just hate on you.
Exactly, brother.
Yeah, they look at
Exactly.
most minorities as like inferior. It's just they're just weird, insecure.
Yeah, and as long as we can all oversee the overall picture of how they start with them, and they're going to work their way through all immigrants, and if Black Americans think that they're safe, just wait until they get rid of the Naturalization Act. They're already starting to call us anchor babies. They're already doing that, because they're just ushering in
Yeah.
what the current administration is doing, and so they parrot. They take the same talking points as their own, as the president. The PDF,
Yep.
the PDF file, the Epstein dude, the thing, all the things that are happening to that man. He just got rid of Juneteenth holiday, and I think
Yeah.
MLK holiday,
Yep.
to
Exactly.
to celebrate his birthday, and to let people into natural sanctuary, or like parks, like national parks. So
Yeah.
I mean, just look at it. So I mean, whose side are you picking? We're always going to pick our African immigrants, our Africans, African Americans, and Black Americans that are willing to stand and support this. And so we're going to see people's true colors. Is what I really think. So let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and introduce Fright. What's up, Fright? Come on up. Can you introduce yourself, brother, with your race or ethnicity and where you're from?
Ohio 29, black.
Okay, cool. Welcome to the panel, brother. Is there anything else you want to add on to this, or do you want to answer any questions on prompt?
Um, I'm not surprised with the current, the Trump and his people and stuff. I'm not surprised. They're all goddamn racist, anyways.
Right. That's what we're saying, So people are willing to double down on that racism, and spread it to the.
But the thing about it is, I'm not for minorities or like migrants and people like this getting deported. I'm not for it, but I have realized that so-called Mexicans and so-called Indians are racist as well. They're biased and they got prejudice against darker skinned people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've noticed that, and
Mhm.
in India they have
the
people that
caste
look
system.
purple down there,
Yeah.
and yet they're racist. Doesn't even
Right. Well,
fucking make sense.
my brother, they call the Mexican Americans, right? The Chicanos, the white Hispanic Latinos, the ones that think that they're good, they're safe, The same people that voted for Trump, even like the Somalians that voted for Trump, they're over there like shocked that Trump would do this to them. They're like, we
Oh
voted for him,
man.
So it's just
Exactly.
it is so funny,
I
but that's
mean,
how
you get what
divided
you vote for, you know.
that's how
Yeah.
divided we are, right? So divided we are, divided we fall, So, but again, those are the people we want to just stay clear away from, Even though there are people, it's obviously brainwashed people, indoctrinated people, nationalistic people that believed that this man, besides taking advantage of little kids and all his rape accusations, and they still thought that he was going to make America great again. So yeah, I hear what you're saying, and it's sad, but it's also true. So we have to take it. We can't just take it at face value,
Right.
Is there anything else you want to add, Fright, before I let Miss on?
I'm good, man. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Miss, welcome to the panel. May I get your race or ethnicity and where you're from, please?
Well, I'm Black American. I'm ADOS. I'm FBA. I'm from North Carolina. I'm all those things so
You're all
much.
those. Okay, sister.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm like
welcome to
you
the
guys.
panel.
I switch back and forth,
Oh, you're a code switcher. Okay. I see
just
how
like
y'all
you
do.
guys are. One minute
All
you're
right.
Somalian, next minute you're Igbo, the next
Well,
minute you're African American.
stop it. But all right. Welcome to the panel, sister. Do you want to add on to anything we just said, or do you want to answer one of these questions on the pro?
Can I ask you a question?
I already know what the question's going to be. Like, what are you? What tribe you from? And so on and so forth. Yeah.
No.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I jumped the gun.
There is a lot of information out here about how detrimental melanated immigrants, whether they were born here or not, have been to foundational Black Americans. So are you telling us as a group we should overlook that?
Melanated
Well,
foundation.
immigrants from Africa, from
Okay.
the West Indies,
Right.
Afro
I hear what you're saying.
Latinos.
Gotcha. Okay. So can you reiterate your question for me one more time,
My
please?
question to you is, there is enough information out here on how problematic
Right.
African immigrants, whether they were born here or not, West Indian immigrants, whether they were born here or not, Afro Latinas have been to foundational Black Americans. And are
So
you saying that we should overlook all of that and just unite?
no. Well, foundational Black Americans have picked their side, right? They're delineating from the terms African American and Black American, and they found a new term, right? Other people don't even want to classify
No,
as that.
I
Hold
asked
on.
you,
Let me
should we?
let me just lay it out, right? So I just should you just include them, into the tethering or the cosplay?
You're not listening. So
Oh,
just drop me down.
no. I wanna pick your brain. No. I'm just trying to understand your question. It's a loaded question, sister.
I'm asking you, are you saying that we should overlook their bad behavior?
No, not at all.
There's
You shouldn't.
receipts
You
after
shouldn't.
receipts of you
You
guys
shouldn't
just
overlook
being
anybody's bad
not.
behavior, including
You're
your own.
not.
You shouldn't. You should not overlook anybody's bad behavior, including your own. Okay,
That's the
we're gonna.
problem. We spent too much time focusing on white Americans and focusing on our bad behavior. There are Black men who are Black Americans who would not date me because I'm darker skinned. We already know that.
Well, that's colorism within your own community, but again, we have that issue in every community, sister. I mean, what you're asking me is something that we all have to take accountability for in our own communities, unfortunately, and I don't find any problem pointing out the coonery or the ignorance. There's nothing wrong with that, and you shouldn't allow anybody in your group that doesn't exemplify the best aspects of your community, right? So that's why I say including your own. So, I mean, no, I don't expect you to receive anybody, especially outside of your community, in your community. You know what I mean? I hope that answers your question, sister.
Hey, if I gotta be honest, bro, these people are hurting themselves more than anything, man. I mean, look at their neighborhoods, man. I mean, these areas are like no-go zones. People move away from them. You know, I mean, for but yet they want to critique and look at everybody for the smallest things. They generalize other people. I mean, you guys are always crying that you don't want people
Well,
generalizing
see,
and
Willis, you got to
stereotyping
understand
you.
it's just a symptom. It's like,
No, these people
right,
don't
but you got
look
to
at
understand it's a
themselves.
symptom.
They talk about other
See, Will,
people. They don't do not look at themselves clearly. I mean, if they looked at
see,
themselves, they would never say anything.
we can't generalize all black people in America either. You know what I
No,
mean?
you
Let's
don't need
not
to
do the same.
generalize. You can use
Let's not do the
statistics.
same thing. Let's
Use
not do the
Now,
same
statistics.
thing.
what's your origin, sir? With
I'm
see why.
Nigerian, bro, but we can use statistics
So you're
like
Nigerian.
census.gov. We can use FBI
So see
FBI.gov.
why you're
Over
Nigerian. What tribe are you?
50%.
Hold
Let
on.
me
We're
finish.
gonna do
Let
this
me
one at a
finish.
time so we don't
Over
overtalk each other.
50%
I'll
of
let
the
you respond,
violent
miss.
crime is committed, or these people are arrested for over 50% of the violent crime in the country. That's more than everybody else put together. Just think about that. Just the carjackings, the muggings, the armed robberies. Like, these people are very, like, I mean, they should not
Has
be
that
critiqued.
data
They
been
need to
Hold on,
focus
miss. I
on
disaggregated?
got
themselves,
it,
man.
miss. I got it, miss.
Has
I
They
got
that
it.
need to
data been
focus on themselves,
disaggregated?
I'm
man.
gonna
Has
let you
that data
respond
been
to it, miss.
Man,
disaggregated?
let him
It's
talk,
on
man.
Yeah, miss.
FBI.gov.
Let him say what he has to say, and then you can respond to it.
So
Again,
yeah, man.
See, bro.
Let me finish, bro. Let me finish, please, man. Before they critique other groups of people, they should be looking at themselves, man. It's just ridiculous.
Okay, all right, see, Willis. I'm gonna let Miss respond, but before she responds, let me just be very clear about this. That crime rates, all that stuff it's based on proximity. You know,
Ain't nothing.
whoever you're closest to, you know, is where the most, you know, that's where those statistics come from. We
That's
don't
an
want to.
excuse.
Hold on, brother. Hold on,
This
Bernie.
guy sounds like Charlie Kirk, man. You allow white
All right,
supremacy.
man. All right, sorry, Bert. You don't have to. You don't have to be up here, bro. Let me just get through that. I just wanted to say that just so we don't
I
generalize.
noticed that. Like,
Hold on, Babby. You out of
white
all
supremacy
people,
there.
I'll just drop you. Because like nobody needs to
Drop-
hear your babble, please. I just want to say that to put it out there because some people don't know that. Some people just want to put it on all the crime. We're not understanding the historical aspects of why those communities are the way they are, not understanding white flight, not understanding redlining, not understanding all these I can't even say the word. Not understanding all the layers, right? It's multifaceted. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. All right, Miss, I'm going to let you respond, then I'm going to introduce Bernie, and then I'll introduce the. Okay, go ahead, Miss, if you want to respond.
Yes, to see Willie, or the person at the bottom of the screen, has this data been disaggregated? It is a well-known fact that a lot of the thieving and all of the things, you guys have brought gangs over here. You guys are robbing left and right, with all of your computer scams, all of these fraudulent nurses, fraudulent doctors. I could not believe all the cheating scams that went on in colleges and universities. And then you've been allowed to piggyback on our civil rights. I mean, my goodness. And did you say you was Nigerian?
No
Because
open-ended questions.
Yes.
No open-ended
and you know
questions.
what?
Please.
I have a problem with Nigerians anyways. They were part of the transatlantic slave trade. So you in essence followed the slave ship. And I agree with what Tariq Nasheed says. You come from a failed country. You're in no position to critique us on anything. Stand down and be quiet.
All right, Miss. All right, Bernie, go ahead, brother. Welcome to the panel. Can you introduce yourself with your race or ethnicity and where you're from, please?
Oh yeah, I'm black. I'm from Philly. I'm a male. All right. See,
Your
Willis.
race and ethnicity.
Yeah, I'm black. I'm black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the panel. Welcome to the panel, my brother.
You have to, first of all, I like to say, you have to pledge to be black. All right. Black is a culture. Black is a spirituality. Black is a consciousness. Black is a religion. All right. These people that y'all talking about aren't black. If you don't have no what's the word I'm looking for? Reason for doing anything on earth to help the black cause, how are you black? So the problem, the biggest scam within our race is good black people and we claiming all the bums, all the no good people and saying they black. They are not black. I was at the bank, putting some money in the bank, and the guy has a ski mask on, dark skin, and he wants me to go into the bank the same time as him with a ski mask on. I said, no, my brother, I'm not going in there with you. You want to know why? Because I'm a black man, and you're not black. He's dark skinned, just as dark as the mask that he had on. I don't see him as one of me. Now, if he was a Hebrew Israelite, if he was practicing Islam, if he was FBA, if he was a good Christian man, yeah, we can go into the bank together. Sure, why not? We brothers. If you are a criminal that's going around robbing old ladies, essaying people, committing crimes on your people, how are you black? I let him go in the bank first. You go in the bank. I'll wait till you done. You got a ski mask on?
Okay, brother Bernie, thank you. Again, black can be interpreted in every culture differently. You know, we say melanin, right? Just to explain that the spiritual form of melanin, the scientific form of it, you know, black as a race, or black even as an ethnicity, let alone, I mean, there's no black nations, right? There's no black countries, right? There's no
Yes,
black
it is.
borders.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, can you name some?
Man, black is a spirituality, man.
I said borders, my brother. Nations. I ain't
So
talking
can I
about
ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Vibes?
No. I gotta move on. I just wanted to
That's what
say
I'm
something. We're
saying,
gonna have
though. It's cool.
Bernie. We're gonna have an open panel. I promise. We're gonna have an open panel so we can go back and forth. Okay. But let me introduce the new guest up here. Okay. Appreciate you. All right. Let's go to the Shadow Band Menace. Welcome to the panel. Can I get you to state your race or ethnicity and where you're from, please?
My race is the Negroid race. My ethnicity is the black.
Okay, welcome to the panel. Go ahead and if you want to respond to anything that's been said or answer one of these questions on the prompt, you may.
Well, first I want to address the African dude, right? He's not our people. He's not black, right? He comes from the worst part of the earth, right? Where raping and child molestation and crime they come from the most criminals on the planet, right? These are the worst people. These are the most primitive, cultureless, ignorant, illiterate people on the planet, right? Them Africans, right? So we'll get to that. He can't say nothing about us. We are the elite people, not only of America, of the planet, right? I just want to say that. Now, my brother Bernie said black is all this. Black is only American-born people from freemen and slaves in America. That's it. Everybody have their own language, but black is only the constitutional Americans. That's it, who are not European. Now, I don't know I don't know what the prompt says, but I just want to get to that. These Africans are not our people, not our relatives. They are invaders. They are an invading species. They are a parasite. The Somalians, the Nigerians.
Sounds like eugenics,
These are
brother.
Well, whatever. I don't care. Whatever. It's fine. That's fine. Eugenics is fine. But they're not us. They're not American.
Is American the top species? The nationality is a top species?
I ain't say species, but
You
we are
did
the
say,
top.
brother. You said species, my brother.
I said, as far as African go, they're the worst species. Now, with an American, we are a conglomerate of different, people. But for the most part, the oldest ethnic group in America are the Black Americans, because we have the Indian, the European, and we have the the African and all that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and we are the most inventive, the most creative, the most advanced. Yes, yes, we are the elite.
You're
Yes.
funny, bro.
All right, brother. All right. I'm gonna let you land, my brother.
Criminal
Go ahead and
Nigerian.
land your point. And I gotta let C. Willis respond to all of you, and then I have something to say too before we let A1 up here, because you guys are, hit the likes, guys. Invite some Africans up in here. We need help. We've been override.
What questions?
We don't need help, man. We need to respond
But
to
anyways,
these
go ahead,
people,
C.
bro.
Willis. Go ahead and respond to all these FBAs, brother.
If you're the most inventive people, why don't you invent something to get yourselves off the auction block, man? I mean, why don't you invent something to not be in slavery for 400 years, man? I mean, do you guys even look at yourself? You're just making stuff up. You guys, it seems like you guys just talk out of your ass, man. I mean, what are you the top of, man? You guys are the top of crime. You're the top of baby mamahood. You're the top of single motherhood.
You're Nigerian.
I mean, you guys not doing shit, man.
Let him get it off.
Bro,
I let y'all get it off.
look at you. If we look at the income statistics in America on census.gov,
Maternity fraud.
yo, Nigerian Americans are making almost double what you guys are making.
You're a scammer.
You should never talk. You people are not doing shit in this country. You never achieved anything, man. You never achieved anything but bouncing a basketball and screaming profanity into a microphone, not doing shit, man. Walking around with your whole ass out of your pants and stuff, man. Like, what kind of behavior is that, man? Very degenerate behavior, man. That's all I gotta say.
All right, C. Willis, and let me say this to you guys. I don't subscribe to what everybody says. Everybody throws their anger out the way they want to express it. I can understand C. Willis coming at y'all. If you guys want to roast, we can roast. We can go back and forth with banters. We're over here looking for solutions. We're not really here to entertain how bad how bad other people see us, how bad, because we look at ourselves and we can point out the bad things in our own community, like I said before, but what does that get us, besides just YT people looking on our chats and clapping and watching us just fight over each other, and to be the supreme premium Negro, like the brother had said before, or the black, the Black American. I mean, people are just laughing at us. So, but I do want to say this, guys. We should be concentrated on our own, first and foremost, right? There's no way we can help each other unless we get ourselves together, and then we can give the olive branch out, and then try to help other people. Black Americans, you guys seem secure. You guys are united here. I couldn't call it united because just like an example of our place in Africa, we're not all united there either, and I do believe there's no time for, even though I do believe in Pan-Africanism, I also do have my doubts about how quick this can happen. But I know that Pan-African is the only thing I can lean on to try to get support from other brothers and sisters without bashing each other, kind of like the FBA thing, but I see a lot of the FBAs that are, I don't see a lot of positivity with the FBAs. I see a lot of positivity with the Black Americans and the African Americans, but not the FBAs. So please convince me otherwise. So with that, let's go to A1. Welcome up, A1. Can I get your race or ethnicity and where you're from?
Black American, African American, whatever term you want to use.
And whereabouts in America, my brother? Where are you from?
I'm in Texas.
Okay, welcome up, my brother. Go ahead. You can respond to anything you've heard or answer one of these questions on the prompt.
Okay, well, I'd like to ask you a question. You're Nigerian or African or what?
I used to say I'm African American, but I don't want to get it confused with the synonym. But since y'all delineating, I think I want to reclaim African American again. But I'm East African. My parents are from East Africa, Eritrea, and then my mother is Afro-Mexican from Oaxaca, Mexico. So I got two different nationalities. I would say they're both black, or have African roots, proud to be African, and still hold the cultures that they find themselves in. So,
Okay,
but go ahead.
but no, yeah, okay. While FBA xenophobic and report to ICE or FBA, well, nah, most of us aren't, right? I don't believe it's anything. See, okay, anyone who calls us xenophobic is that's literally calling the pot calling the kettle black, right? We don't come from a tradition of that. We've never had a history of that. I find absolutely no reason to even defend that. While FBA is used or some offense to white supremacy, I can't really see the second one. It says, okay, let me see, used on offense for white supremacy. I mean, again, see, the questions are a little odd to me. That's the reason I asked where you're from, right? Because the whole premise or yours or anyone who didn't grow up here, and I don't mean even a first or second generation, whose ancestors weren't over here for hundreds of years, your whole paradigm is different from ours. And it expresses itself in the way you speak and your ideas. You know, I'm a truck driver, right? And I'm be brief. I'm a truck driver. I own trucks. I had to get rid of my trucks because of all of the legal drivers that I was trying to compete with, but I couldn't compete because I was doing Toyota loads for 230 a mile. They specifically drove the prices down to 170. It's unsustainable for Americans. So yeah, I would call ICE because this is the thing. When you broke the law to come over here, I don't want to hear anything about I want a better life for my family because I want one for mine as well. And when we needed help, we had to depend on ourselves. They call it being xenophobic. I call it one, following the law, and two, why would I not look out for my family and other American families by keeping situations like that from happening because they happen all the time. But again, if you're not here and you don't have the traditions and the culture that we have and we've developed over here, you're simply going to look at the world differently from us. And I'm not going to defend anything. I'll end with that.
All right, all right. Well, let me say this to you, brother. You calling ICE, again, you guys aren't Homeland Security. You guys aren't ICE. If you took the time out of your day to look at someone and racially profile him and go, well, I feel like he shouldn't be here because he's taking my job, and I should have more gigs, and it's these people's fault because I don't have as much gig, or people aren't calling me for work. We have this in the construction site. We have this in the fast food restaurants, or restaurants in general. We have this in the service industry. It's one thing to say that, you build yourself on your own merit, but you don't align yourself with these white tea xenophobics, right? These people that say speak English or go back to where you came from. If you do that, that's where I draw the line in the sand. If you a black MAGA, an FBA MAGA, if you're parroting these white racist, white nationalists, all I see you as is a white nationalist in blackface. Because you hold on now. This is why these questions are up here, and you spoke about your trucking business, and I don't know who you called ICE on. I don't know why you called ICE on them, or but you as many, a lot of people come up here and like, FBAs wouldn't do that. That's not in our nature to snitch. It's not in our protocol. Like, I don't know any black Americans that would do that. So I don't know why you would have that question on the prompt. I have that question on the prompt for people like you. What are they? And specifically for people that do it out of spite, that people do it out of hate, you have no proof if they have their paperwork or not. We have Mexican Americans, we have Somali Americans that make up the majority of the, and so now you're talking about anchor babies. Now you're talking about getting rid of the Naturalization Act. Now you're going into, again, this is why we cannot be on board with, we can't trust Black Americans, even though they put the strife, they put in work to get the civil rights to let us all up in here. You guys did just as much work to get us out. So I don't see any progressiveness in the statements that you guys make today, and how we should be so thankful and so in gratitude to you people that turn around on the nick of a dime, and worse than the Democrats at this point. You know what I mean? So that's what I have to say to that, A1. But we're gonna have an open panel, A1. Let me. All the other FBAs drop. They're not patient enough to hear us out. They just want to come up here and spiel their little spiel, and then they're out. They're on to the next fucking panel. So at least I appreciate you, A1, for sticking around. W. Larps, are you up there? Can you introduce yourself with your race, your ethnicity, and where you're from, please?
East Africa and Habesha.
Welcome up, my Habesha brother.
I just had a question. What is
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, what?
Go ahead, bro. No, go ahead.
What is so I'm not too informed on like the whole what is the tethered stuff? I never understood what the tethered stuff was. I know about like the FBA stuff. What is tethered?
So tethered is not, it's an observable thing that FBAs do to racially profile someone, really, and to also like these people, they call them cosplayers, that they try to. Have you ever seen the movie Us, my brother? Have you seen the movie Us with Jordan Peele? Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. What is it about?
It's a long kind of thing, but essentially, it was a movie about a Black American family, and that there was two different class systems. There was like the higher class and the lower class. So anyways, it's like they're doppelgangers is another word. All these vocabulary words that the FBAs love to use come from this movie specifically. So go watch the movie. I recommend everybody go watch that movie. And it speaks about this carbon copy of themselves that has been waiting to switch spaces with them. So it's pretty much a Black family who has another Black family that looks just like them, and they're waiting for their spot to not necessarily take over, because just this one family decided to intervene and try to switch places. So what you had is a little tethered child who switched places at a young age with this normal lady in the higher class. And when I say higher class and lower class, I literally mean that. Like, they just lived on a different level. But this lower class, it's almost like first class, second class. And how some were afforded rights and privileges and others weren't. And so here, let me just the movie's kind of the movie's kind of deep, but the way the FBAs are explaining it is that you cosplay them, you talk like them, you pretend to be like them. Black Americans to immigrants, African immigrants specifically, they're so scared that those people look like them, they can't tell the difference. So they have to ask you, where are you from? Where is your tribe? They need to listen to your accent, and then they can identify you as a tether. So I think it's a bunch of bullshit. But if that's what they want to go off of, that's what they're doing. And so you're not a tether until they tell you you're a tether. Okay. So that's how it goes, my brother.
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I would never say that I ever wanted to become African American. I think. I mean, I wasn't even like, English is not my first language, but I would never say that I have ever been inclined to be like so attracted to becoming African American. I don't really, not like as an insult, but like, I prefer my own country's culture, I guess, but I mean, okay. It's interesting.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. And they would prefer that you only like your own culture. You know, if you dare listen to any African American music, or you eat their soul food, or you eat anything that's, I don't like to say African American.
I'm being honest. I
I
actually,
appreciate African American communities, their identity, even Black Americans. The line I draw is with FBAs. That's my biggest.
to be
But
honest,
but
that's
go
ideal in
ahead.
my situation. If people from my culture and background, because I don't necessarily see African American culture as the most positive culture in the world. It's not something that I would say that would be ideal to imitate. I think there's nice portions of the culture, but I would say that there are a lot of negative stereotypes that are carried within that community and culture. So I would say that I would prefer if people from and look like me, stuck to wearing their clothing, eating their food, speaking their language, those type of things. So I don't even think that's necessarily a bad thing, retrospectively.
Well, the beautiful thing about America,
They're,
the
they're claiming
hold on,
streetwear,
Sewell.
man.
Hold on, Sewell.
Okay.
Again, the beautiful thing about American culture is that you could participate in any. Hold on, Sewell. I'm just saying, the beautiful thing about the melting pot of America is that everybody comes here and has something to contribute to the whole American culture. As soon as somebody wants, the biggest people that are not that the businessmen, right? They don't cut ties with the clients that come from international aspects. They're not going to cut off their soul food and be like, only African American people can eat my food and appreciate my food. No, they're going to want clients to buy their food from all over the diaspora. They don't mind if YT people come and eat their food. But as soon as this is the biggest issue that we have, and a lot of it is gatekeeping for a reason. There's reasons why, for instance, Ebonics, right? AAVE, like people that attach themselves to the way they talk, how they speak. It's taken from a people that originated it from. So there's aspects like that have to be understood and respected, so we don't. So there's a lot of things that we as African immigrants do when we do come here that we don't understand about what's already here, and we don't pay respect to it or give credit where credit is due. And that's the same thing. That's the same thing that YT people do. YT people take shit that's not theirs and they resell it, they repackage it as their own. So there are aspects of that we do have to take some mind to, you know what I mean? And same thing with our own cultures in Africa. Like once we know somebody wearing our clothing or eating our food and claiming it as their own, we would think of that as disrespect. You know what I mean, brother? So,
yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like when I hear people say the melting pot, right? And all people have come over here and
Yeah, let's
contributed.
just gotta talk about that.
Well, I'm trying to figure out when was that true, because until 1965, 64, 65, America was still 84%, 86% non-Spanish white.
I would,
The majority of people that we see over here today who are Indian, who are Asian, whether you're Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, from Thailand, wherever, Arab people, that's why most of them, their children are generally first generation. These people, even though it's so many of them here now, to the point Asians are like the number one minority group, they're all relatively recent here, right? And the second thing is, again, you have to look at it from our point of view. A lot of what we do is rooted in history and reactionary. Okay, I remember my father, I'm 51. I remember one time I was a teenager and he started laughing. I was like, Dad, what's funny? He said, I never forget to say, yeah, sooner or later, white people gonna start saying they invented jazz too. No, they didn't invent it. They didn't contribute to its creation and its development. But now, what do they try to say? Oh, everybody contributed to jazz, the most popular music in the world. Uh, the inventions that we have created and contributed in American society. See, people like that individual was talking about, oh, what do they do? Play basketball, entertainers. It's a reason that's the only thing that people know us for, because things have always been stolen from us. And we've either been erased from the history or our history simply hasn't been told. It's just been suppressed, even though we have access to it now. So again, Europeans have done that, and the world has embraced this stereotype. So whether you call them FBAs, African Americans, Black Americans, what have you, when you have groups that come into America from outside with those negative stereotypes about us, which the majority of Africans I know, whether it's Somali, Kenyans, or wherever, they have these negative stereotypes and conceptions, and they look down on us, and we react.
Yeah, well, stop being reactionary like that, my brother. You got to understand that's propaganda, right? YT people are gonna tell everyone that you are the lowest common denominator, and at the same time, you're not in charge. Even though you created the civil acts right, you're not the one. You have no authority about who comes in and who goes out.
Do
You
you
guys
really
can't
believe
be.
that?
You
I
guys
don't
are
know if I
not the
agree with that,
gatekeepers. You
honestly.
guys don't have like. You have again, my brother, and it works vice versa. You're indoctrinated in America, and you get
So what do
told
you
all the
think?
things about Africa in the most backward ways. That's why you guys believe about everybody outside of America the way you guys have that mindset, and it reflects that white slave master. It
So I have
reflects
a
the current
Example.
it reflects that current administration. So
What's the
Raj,
I
do
don't
example?
you
know.
believe that there is a
Hold on. We're
predominant?
gonna let W Larps chime in, and then we're gonna
So
have open panel.
I have a question. Like, do you believe that there is a predominant American culture that when you're an immigrant, you are sort of there is a social cue pressure that you should integrate? I don't want to say assimilate, but I would say integrate into. Or do you think that everybody is has the right essentially to completely and utterly turn their community into what they reflect back home and turn it into a different sociocultural sphere than what it originally was for the last 500 or so years as
You
it's
should
developed?
not totally abandon your culture, but you should definitely integrate into the
Yeah, I'd say
predominant
I
American
agree with
culture.
that. I would say I
Well,
agree with
that's
that.
what hurt the black community. A1, black Americans were better off alone than integrating with white tea culture to begin with, right? Every time black
No,
Americans, so
I
you
mean,
rather mix in with white tea culture than do your own thing separately.
they're both live in America though. It's kind of
Hold
like
on, W. Hold on. I want A1 to answer this one.
and I'm gonna be brief in my answer, brother. Uh, there is no such thing as a white American culture. Every group of white people
But
who
there
came
is a
over,
black American culture, but not a white one.
yes, brother. Show me one. This is really important for you to understand. What other group, if anybody, it's only, I mean, if you could say that, it's only really one true group of people that are Americans, and I would say Black Americans. The reason being, whether you're British, you come from Ireland, Germany, every group of white people came over here, they knew where they came from. They spoke their language, they practiced their traditions, their culture. Every group of Africans that came over here literally had every single thing stripped from them. They started with nothing. Everything that we have and we practice is an amalgamation of everywhere we were from and where we were planted at.
So your ancestors are African, though, right, my brother?
Of
Do you
course they
believe that?
are.
Okay, so if we're an amalgamation of the same people that you call ICE on, right? These same African immigrants that you dare call ICE on, right? These are your
I've never done
ancestors,
that.
brother. A1, was that you? Was that you that said that, A1?
Yeah, it was earlier.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was.
Okay, you just said you never done that, but you
I've
have
never
done
called.
that.
I've never called ICE on the African. It never
But
would.
what did you say then? What did you say earlier?
I said I've called ICE on it before. I was talking about the people who come from across the southern border, the Indians, and everybody else.
No, you
I
talk.
sure
Okay,
did,
well,
and sure would.
any immigrant, brother, I'm
Well,
saying the same civil rights that you praise, that this is what let everybody in. The first wave of them were all European immigrants. You had no problem with them coming here, setting up shop. Those are the people that you. The thing I hate is when we focus on one particular group. Okay, and being Mexican and African, I can speak to this, right? But I only speak out of it, out of pain and out of like what my people are going through. So, but I'm saying we don't have the same smoke for white Europeans. We don't have the same smoke for the people that made it here and that built their businesses and set up shop. We don't have any smoke for them. We only have smoke for what the current administration and this German illegal Donald Trump and his whole family that came here with his wife, who isn't even a citizen here. Like, stop it. Like, I just can't stand that shit, brother. So I just don't feel like it's very disingenuous for people to pick one lowest common denominator, because everybody can pick on Black Americans if they choose to. But we're setting the example, A1. We're setting the example. So
so you're
I would
telling
think
me
I would
that
think
Black
highly of you.
Americans? You telling me Black Americans? Are you sitting here really saying Black Americans don't have smoke for white folks? I don't care if they're white Americans or white people in general, wherever they
Not when
come
they're
from somewhere.
parroting, not when they're taking the same white tea talking points to talk down on other immigrants. Never.
Brother, I'm gonna simplify this. I don't have a problem, and most Black Americans don't have a problem with whoever come over here. We
Never
want two
did.
things. We want two things, brother. Uh, if you come over here illegally, I don't care where you came from and what color you are. You need to be deported because you broke the law. It's real simple. Stop.
So
Let me say
where's
this.
Jim Crow law? Where's Black Code law? Like, when
Listen,
was
brother.
that relevant to you? And if you were illegal, no, listen, bro. You're
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna
taking
listen. Go ahead. Go ahead.
the A1. You are literally just you're parroting, man. Man, I'm just gonna end this
No,
one with
no,
this.
no, no.
Because the
I want to
same
hear it.
laws that were used against Black Americans are being used against everybody, that they don't seem fit to be here. So I don't
Relate.
want to hear that. I don't
Okay,
want you.
well,
I don't want to hurt. I don't even want to hear the word illegal at this point.
can
Because now,
you
no, you know why?
can
Because now
you relate?
immigrant. If you call a Black American an immigrant, oh my God, you might
Can
as well have
you?
called them. You might as well call them a slave. You might as well
Okay, but
They're
call them
this
a
is
not
me and
slave.
you.
immigrants
This is
though.
me and
Because
you
these are
talking, right, brother?
exactly. Look at them. Look at them. Listen,
But
what
this,
I'm saying is,
Brother, can
if
I
you
say
guys are
something
catching
right
this,
quick?
hold on. I just want to land on this point, and we'll go ahead and introduce the new guest. Okay. I understand it's a legal term, but also a legal term to define our people were slaves. We don't call ourselves slaves anymore. You shouldn't be calling nobody illegal. You call them undocumented if you like. If I hear the word illegal, I'm gonna ask for F1s in the chat. And I'm gonna ban that word from my ban because you guys don't understand what that dehumanizing language does to people. That xenophobic language, but.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm gonna land on that. Big
The
Bangs.
bag,
Welcome to the
yeah.
panel.
Hey, so it wasn't
Hold on, brother. Hold on. Can you introduce yourself with your race or ethnicity and where
yeah,
you're from?
I'm Black American FBA. That's what I am. I'm all that. You know what I'm
You
saying? 'Cause
all
that's
that.
what it is.
All
Yeah.
right. Welcome to the panel. All that. Can you
Yeah.
go ahead and address whatever you heard or
Yes,
F1's
yes,
on
sir.
top?
The Nigerian guy that just came up here with all the little stereotypes talking about baby mamas and all that stuff. See, that's the problem that we having right now with the Africans right now. That's why we in the situation that we in right now with immigrants, because of that anti-black rhetoric right there. Like, see, before we was all I can speak for myself and everybody that I was around. We embraced African. We was always paying African and shit back in the 1990s and all that. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't never know. We never knew that you guys felt this way about us until recently. Now, if you really notice all the FBA stuff that's going on, it's only been recent, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's because we started to open our ears and we started to peep game. We started to peep and see how you guys felt about us, and I've never knew the word Akata and all these different types of stuff until recently. So that's really what's going on. Like the A1 said, it's a reactionary thing that's going on right now. It has nothing to do with us hating immigrants or anything like that. It's just, when you disrespect Black Americans, you pretty much disrespecting like my grandmother now, the people who fought for this country, the people who fought for civil rights, the people who fought for us to have the life we have right now. So when you come here and you call us baby mamas and talk about our culture and everything like that, man, that is disrespectful to us. And yeah, of course we're going to defend that. So basically what's happening is, man, we're defending our culture from being disrespected. That's what's going on right now. And it's crazy because it's like, it's hard for you guys to understand that. You know what I'm saying? If I was to go to Africa and disrespect the people that been there for centuries, then that would be a problem over there as well. So that's what I just want you guys to understand. It has nothing to. We don't hate immigrants. We just started to see the anti-Black rhetoric and all the anti-Black hate that was coming from other melanated Black people, man, immigrants. You know what I'm saying? So that's where FBA and all that stuff comes from. It comes from that.
I hear you, brother, and I do understand, to a certain degree. I also understand that African people in America also get the same anti-blackness by your white counterpart, and by the white Mexicans, by the Chinese. They get, if not the same treatment, even worse because they're not Americans to this point.
Yeah, but
to another point. To another, hold on.
I don't know if that's true though.
Hold on,
true?
though. Hold on, Lags.
How's it?
Hold on, Larps. Hold on. I do want to say that I do my best to clap down on immigrants that do come here and stick their nose in Black American business and talk down on Black Americans. I don't. If I allow it on my panel, it's because of this kind of. I'm gonna mute you guys because there's a lot of background noise. But if I allow it on here, it's because we're getting on both sides. And I will take accountability for that. And I do my best. Even sometimes I crash out. I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes I could be disrespectful, and this is what happens with this tug and pull where we're over here fighting amongst each other about the pettiness. Because. A lot of this is roasting. We roast each other, we clown each other, we talk shit to each other, and some of us are can handle it. Others can't. And so I feel like it is very surface level, and and the words don't hurt, but they can cut. What's that word? And something about the hit dog holler or some shit like that. So again, I think it's because of the atmosphere, and what's all this stuff going on right now that you see it. I feel like the current administration is just adding fuel to the fire, if you may, and why some people have the balls to tell people to go back to where they came from and all this rhetoric that I be hearing. I don't think this just came out of the blue, okay? And I don't think you just opened up your eyes one day and went, "Oh my God, this African's treating me crazy. This African treating me racist." Like I don't think that came out the blue. I think it's been ushered in, and people are doubling down on it. That's what I really, really do believe. But Larps, did you want to say anything? Because I know you keep wanting to say something, and then I'm going to introduce Queen, okay? And then we're going to have an open panel. I'm not going to let anybody up in here, so we can just have a discussion amongst ourselves. A fluid discussion, so we don't cut everybody off and everybody can talk about this, okay?
Yeah. So earlier we were discussing about who is truly affected, I think you said the claim that Africans are, just as affected as African Americans, and I don't necessarily think that's the case. Maybe socially, but I don't know if that's really
Yeah, I
represented
wasn't talking
socially.
about historically. I wasn't talking about
Well,
historically.
no, I'm
That's
just
all
like,
these.
even today with the
Mhm.
outcomes of how successful either communities are, like, I don't know if this is a really popular opinion, but I don't think that the major issue with against minority groups, specifically Black Americans, is necessarily that people are resentfully racist, but that they are kind of experiencing like the jet lag that's come from the historic prejudice when there was things like redlining, when there was things that impeded them from building generational wealth and kind of like disrupted the nuclear family and things. I don't necessarily think it's because some guy in Mississippi won't hire you at Burger King or some shit, or there's a guy who's spreading some racist beliefs on Twitter. It's kind of supported by the fact that when you do bring people of the same skin color, because white people can't differentiate between, like, phenotypically between like an East African and an African American, yet East Africans have much better socioeconomic outcomes. If it was truly like a race determination thing where just because of your skin color, you will be treated worse by the system, etc., then you'd assume that both these communities would have the same amount of income, the same amount of criminalization in the justice system. I just don't think it's statistically supported.
Again, my brother, I don't know where you grew up and stuff like that, but again, Black people in America have been disfranchised, economically imbalanced or capped, you could say, because of they have built things for themselves, but over time, and not to say that there isn't affluent places right now that we can look at and see Black Americans, especially, their spending power and being some of the richest people in America, and the achievements, right? They have been historically been destroyed. You know what I mean? And so when African immigrants come here, it's not always at the same. Like when people look down on Black Americans, be like, why can't you be doing what we're doing? Not understanding that historical suffrage.
Yeah,
So
that's essentially my point, though. It's like, it's not because you would assume that Africans would experience the same real-time racism as in today, not historically, of course, because they weren't in the country, but that's it. Like, that's basically what I'm trying to convey.
But I
that
do want to say this, brother. These like things that like Black Americans, even the self-hate and the thing that has bred, even within their own communities, about themselves, referring to themselves as African booty scratchers, as there's colorism, there's texturism, there's featureism even within those communities, and this is all bred by white tea one drop rule rhetoric. You know what I mean? And a lot of us have been indoctrinated with this hate. So I mean, it's not too far off to say that this is just something innate that is ready to just get like to tell it to other people coming in. People, Black Americans that have an affinity to Africa, African Americans that are proud to be African, that won't let anything else get in their way with all this nationalism and patriotism masked as racism. Those are the people I admire, I value. Those are the people that I can stand by and be proud to find kinship within those brothers and sisters. As soon as you start delineating from that is where I find my problem with, because you guys claim to be this unique lineage that has all these different meshes, 30% white tea, some Native American and some African. Pick and choose what you decide to value and what you decide to knock. Okay,
And my brother,
so
I just
I
wanted to
do
add,
want to say that because it's very important, and I'm not going to dismiss it. I'm never going to dismiss it. I don't care what trend you hop on. If you want to call yourself FBA today or Salon tomorrow, or ADOS, you are the code switcher, and you get to decide.
Well,
You get to decide what you feel like doing and who you get to crash out on. And I don't appreciate that.
my
But here,
point was that
hold on,
one
Larbs.
second,
Let me go. Let
Queen.
me hold on, guys. I knew I said I was not okay. So Queen was the last one. Sorry, guys. If you guys are requesting up, I'm not going to let anybody up because I do feel like we have a strong little connection here with the brothers and sisters on the panel, and we can work this out. You know, so we can find some positive out of this, and we're not crashing out on each other. So with that, let's go ahead and introduce Queen. Queen, welcome to the panel. Can I get your race or ethnicity and where you're from, sister?
Yeah, I am Somali, one of the garbage people, and I honestly, I'm living my best life, I guess. And I'm 50, and
Welcome
a
to the panel.
businessman.
Welcome to the panel, sister. And we stand with Somalia, okay, sister? You know we got, and you're not
You
garbage. We're not garbage. We the presence
know
to
what?
this world.
You know,
Go ahead.
when someone like Trump calls you garbage, that means he couldn't get to you, and so that's why he is like a child. He has to do it. Whenever he is so friendly to you, you should know that maybe you're doing something wrong, or he already took whatever he wants from you, and now you're a friend. You're no longer a threat to him. I don't know. This guy, the people voted for him, so I respect that part, but I don't respect him as a person. So when he says garbage or whatever, believe me, it's a badge of honor. That means we are not conquered up here in our brain, and he cannot understand why. Why are these people? Oh, the $1 billion, 40 or 30 people did that, not all of us, right? He himself, and you can go and check that. I have the receipts. Go to 2019, and it's the New York Attorney General. Trump was stealing from his charities, several charities, and he's using it like a teller machine. He was convicted, and he returned some of the money, and still he's very much in trouble, like with this kind of stuff, stealing money from contractors, from charities, and he became a president. So I think if he's outside of jail, maybe those people shouldn't go to jail too. But they did, and it's fair enough. That's fine. You do something illegal, you should pay for it. But the rest of the people have nothing to do with it, and that's where the problem is. So there are people somewhere. I don't know if they are the Republican Party or something affiliated with them. They're actually paying some people, and they choose strategically people who are Black Americans to give them some information, because a guy who is in New York or Virginia wouldn't know about things that is happening in Somalia and then twist it to be something else. Like, yeah, we have problems in Somalia. That's why we're here. We have civil war. I don't know what's happening now exactly, but it's way better than before, I think, because they're trying to build something at some point. They should, because civil war in one day could destroy 50 years of achievements. So can you imagine 20 years of civil war? I'll leave that to us as people, if we are living here or in the back of other countries or in the country itself. This MAGA stuff, it's going to be obsolete once a Democrat becomes a president, but I don't really have any cult following to either parties. I will just go for whatever is better for me and the country in general. So far, people voted for this guy. That's fine. He actually found a group of people who probably were unemployed, and they called them Somalis for Trump. We all laughed at that because that was a joke. And then they ended up voting for Kamala Harris. I know one of them. He doesn't know. That's why Minnesota is blue. Anyways, what's going to happen in the future? I have no idea. Do I have any respect for Black Americans? Yes. In real world, where I am dealing with actual people, not on TikTok, everybody that I met throughout my life, and I was here since the 70s, and I'm 50 years old, I have adult children. Never once, except maybe 2 ladies who, I don't know why they hated me. They thought maybe someone liked me, and I honestly didn't know about it until later. So they wanted to fight me for that. And I didn't even know the guy was talking about me. but that was children's work. Like it's not an adult time; it's teenage time. Other than that, every Black American that I met, either they're nice or they keep their business to themselves, and that is nice too, like peaceful. Now I hear stuff on TikTok that I never heard in my life. Like I always knew that Black American held other people up, and unfortunately, a lot of people do not hold them up when they are in trouble, and they go, "Well, if I made it, why didn't they make it?" Because, my friend, they have trauma. If you have trauma, you will be afraid of something like the light, if that's what triggers you. You come in here from a place where this is the place that you can see opportunities you never saw in your own country, and you jump on it, and you don't care about white people. They could say the N word 70 times. I'm just focusing on my money. But when they say the N word to someone who is Black American, they remember the, I don't know why you guys call it, hanging fruits. And maybe they saw that in real life. Obviously, it's not going to be the same thing. It's going to be a triggering word. So we have to always think about other people, what they went through, and respect that too. So it's not just the Americans or the Black Americans respecting me. I have to tell my people and because I was living in Brooklyn, and it's one of the most amazing places in the 70s. I went there again. It's not the same place. It changed. And I live now in Fairfax, outside of Fairfax, Virginia, and I'm living my best life. I land.
Awesome, sister. Thank you for that testimony. I'm about to move to Virginia as well. I'm from California, but yeah, I appreciate you saying what you're saying. And
Are you from
my
LA?
God, I forgot. No, I'm from Santa Cruz. It's a like Central Bay area. White, predominantly white area here. We're one of the highest, highest.
2015. Yeah, I was just going to say something about California. I mean, I loved California from
Hate it.
the TV. I didn't know that. I'll tell you what happened. Took my two kids, 2015. They were teenagers, and I went to LA thinking I'm going to meet, Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, and all those actors that I see on the TV. And I went to a hotel called the Hollywood Hotel. The name was amazing. I went there. Half of Los Angeles are living under bridges. That is something I never seen in my life. My kids got traumatized, and I had to take them to Las Vegas so they can forget what they saw. I'm glad you're moving to Fairfax. It's a better place.
Yeah, I think I'm moving to Alexandria, close to Washington, D.C. But all in good timing. Again, sister, I appreciate your insight, and stick around. We're going to have an open panel right now so you guys can talk amongst yourselves. I want you guys to be respectful, be grown about this conversation. And whoever wants to come up on the chat, you guys are more than welcome to, but I need to see 5,000 likes first, okay? You guys need to put in work if you guys want to come up here. I usually don't ask for likes or shares or anything, but since I want the algorithm to be working so people can see this and chime in, that's why I ask you guys to do, okay? So go ahead and get the likes up to 5,000, and then I'll start inviting new people up, okay? But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and we'll start the panel with A1, and then you guys can talk amongst yourselves, okay? I'll be chiming in too. I'll be policing it, okay? So
Okay, I want to make a distinction, right? First and foremost, if I could simply have the southern border and Africa on the southern border, that's what I prefer, and I would just flood the country with Africans. I really would.
No, please.
Well, no,
We're okay.
I'm being honest with you, because see, I don't have a problem with Africans coming over here. We have our problems with them, our own beef and stuff, but I still consider those are my folks, and I would still prefer them than everyone else.
Do you know
And
that that's the problem that they have with us? It's because they want that 12% to be 5% and then disappear. But with
yes,
Black people coming in, whether they're African or not, they don't care. They consider them and lump everybody together. And they was going,
yeah,
if this is how it's going to be, Soon, this people will be maybe 50% at some point,
See,
and
this
then
is
we cannot. Yeah, I
and
know
this is what
this.
I love about this country, particularly when it comes to Africans. See, one of the biggest, or to me, the biggest disease that they bring over here is tribalism, right? But they get woken up really quickly because, see, all my African friends know, yeah, you come over here, you say, oh, I'm Kenyan, I'm a Igbo, or whatever particular, I'm Zulu, Xhosa. No, when you come over here, you're gonna have a culture shock. You still a Nigge hard R, and they
Of
learn that
course.
and they learn that very quickly, regardless of their financial success. But the point that I was making is, see, uh, it's never. I guarantee you this. Whenever we hear about quote unquote these immigrants, right? I ain't gonna say the L word because Vibe said don't say that. See, they're not talking about Africans when they say, oh, they're just trying to come and make a better life. They're not referring to Africans. They're talking about everyone but the Africans. They're talking about people from Central America, South America. They're talking about Asians. They're talking about Indians. And it's a big uproar. But I can guarantee you this: we live in America. If that southern border, if Africa was on that southern border, and it was a flood of black people who look like us coming over that border, they'd been have put the U.S. military over there and nationalized the border patrol. They would have been done that. So a lot of times, one of the main focus of our arguments is this: that it's a form of self-preservation because, like one of our black historians, our black historian said, right, for the first 400 years, we were the only minority, therefore the biggest minority, and we didn't get nothing. We're about to be the fourth largest minority. If we didn't get nothing, we had to fight and literally get bit by dogs and unalived to get a little something when we were the only minority. What do you think black folks gonna get when we're the fourth minority? Because nobody cares about us but us. I'll end with that.
Hey,
I just wanted to say one thing. One of the reasons of this scare tactics that the Republican use on white people, that soon enough you guys will be a minority, and it's going to be a brown country. And so what they do is a very tactical thing. Every time someone is coming that, white passing, let's say Arabs, for instance, in 1920, Arabs became by the Supreme Court considered white. So a lot of those numbers that you see of population of white population, there are a lot of people who are not really white within those population, just to make it bigger, at least in paper, on paper, right? And because of there's no babies happening. If you notice that the family was broken, whether it's black or white, women do not want to have children. They want to live like until 40, and then they will think of children. And that doesn't work with biology, and that's a problem. And also now everything is expensive. So even you yourself could not afford to be in an apartment in New York City or in a major place. So there's not anybody that many people that are getting married. It's really, really a bad thing. And I don't want them to have no children. Everybody should have enough children because that's how we make this earth work. Okay. But what happens is that's what happened. And then the solution is, how about if we bring people from South Africa? Hmm, Afrikaners, the white Africans, whatever. That's Trump like a bandage for a problem, and it's not working. Half of them went back because they thought that they're gonna be the bosses of someone, and then when they saw that they just immigrants, they went back to South Africa.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I don't buy into none of these stereotypes, right? I will say this, like Vibes and Queen. Queen, if you don't mind me asking, you're Muslim, right?
Yes, I am.
And like you know, one of the other things that I think just Americans in general, why I say I believe in you don't give up your culture, but you also have to assimilate to a certain degree, right? So of course, I practiced Islam for like 18 years. So one of the biggest things that Americans in general is hard to swallow is certain parts of other cultures that they try to associate with the religion that I know because I practiced for a long time that aren't like okay, yeah, I'm gonna get into the politics of, but like the hijab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he does mention that in the Quran, right? But other than that, Muslim dress, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran specifically, when you translate it, is simply modest dress. You
Yeah.
cover your adornment. So when we get these different groups of people from around the world, and I'm talking about white Muslims, African, I mean, whatever, right? Particularly the Arabs, they're savages, and they come with these veils and burqas.
Yeah, but
Okay,
that's not Islamic thing. It's their Arab pre-Islamic
culture.
way of culture. People always mix things with each other. The Somali dress,
Sister, I
African
want to
dress.
interject real quick. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you guys for staying. Hey, everybody that requested up, I tried to accept you guys, but it won't let you up for some reason. So keep trying to
Their
request.
accounts might be private. Their account, sometimes if your account is private, it won't bring them up.
Okay, well that makes sense because I've been having this issue for the last 2 days where
So
I
maybe
tried
you
to.
can go off and then come back, and then we still going to ask the guest.
No, I'm not because I got the algorithm working right now. So
Oh,
again,
okay.
brothers and sisters, if you guys can request back up, and if I see how it works, if I see you on the invite box instead of the request section, I will try to get you up there. I think that works better. But I want to say sorry to the people that got it up to 6K right now because they were doing that to get up here. And so I just want to say sorry and keep trying. I'm trying to get you guys up here. But go on, guys.
Yeah, so the dress is like the Grecian dress that has nothing to do with the religion. It's our culture, pre-religious, pre-religious. Now, in my opinion, I think people have to understand that people are people. Like I'm not like my sister, and I have 7 siblings. Some of them are girls. I'm not like them. Some of them wearing hijab. We respect that. I'm not wearing it, not because I don't want to wear it. It's that my everyday struggle is to make sure that I pray and I do everything correctly. The hijab is the least of my problems, and I'm always modest, and I'm a mother of 2 adults. I'm not like someone who ever was rogue or went against anything. Anyways, knowing that, in terms of what do you call it, what's happening now, I'm just telling you there's a lot of people who getting paid pennies. Unfortunately, on TikTok, some of the people, if you notice that they are talking about something and their face doesn't say that that's what they believe, they are being mobilized and paid. And so that's why a lot of people are saying stuff sometimes that doesn't make sense. And so when I ask them, well, what about Trump? He's German, and his mom is a Scottish immigrant, and his wife is, what is it, Estonian? And the one before, she was some kind of Slavic. So what about it? Oh, but they are different. Now you know that this is being paid. Because you can't be having that energy for Somalis and not the same one for Trump. And on land, I think there are new people.
Okay, I do want to thank you guys, and I do want to say something before I introduce the new guest. A1,
I'm listening.
my brother A1. South of the border, my brother, you got to understand that there are black people in Mexico, and some would say that they're the minority, but I would challenge that as they are. See, we didn't have the 1 drop rule in Mexico. What we had was the
You're talking about the
Casas.
Port of Veracruz. Yeah, the port. I'm very
I'm
familiar
talking
with
about
Mexican history,
Oaxaca,
brother.
Costa Chica, Guerrero. I'm talking about where
My mom is from Reynosa.
Jasper Yanga came from, right? I'm talking about all the coastal towns, but even then, right? Those are like the majority of the the populations that you see more concentrated. But I'm talking about Mexican people. So the mestizaje is what they call it. Was more was the third root of it was the African root. And so, like I said, they didn't have the one drop rule because if they had the one drop rule in Mexico, everybody would be black.
Brother, my mom is from Reynosa, bro.
Okay, my brother. I'm just saying. You made that comment about you wish that Africa was south of the border. So this is why I'm
I
bringing
do.
it up. So I'm telling you, Africa is south of the border. You just,
Well, okay, I get your
okay, but
point.
I get what you're saying though. It's like the white Mexicans, right? It's the Hispanic, the Latinos that side, more with their white tea colonizers than they do with the dark skinned indigenous folks, right? The dark skinned Mexicans, right? So there's just as much hatred there than as well as in America, but it's just a different kind of slight of it.
Well,
So
no, but bro, the point I was making is, and I challenge the sincerity of anyone who disputes this. If you have all the people from Central and South America coming over here, they've been flooding the border. Ronald Reagan nationalized 10 million of them, right? Okay, I'm down in San Antonio. All you hear is, oh, they'll take the jobs that U.S. citizens want. They just want a better life, this and that. You hear, you don't hear any agents speaking about it. You don't hear, Pacific Island. You don't hear nobody speaking bad about it. And what I'm saying is, if China was on the southern part of the border, you wouldn't hear people in an uproar about it. The Indians wouldn't be in an uproar about it. The Asian, if you had the India over there, it wouldn't be a big uproar. But everyone hates us. If Africa was on the southern part of the border and it was black folks, you would have every other group, quote unquote, racial group in this world talking about shut it down. In other words, everybody despises us, but
Okay,
we
can I
always
say
want to
something?
take up for
understandable.
everybody else.
I do want you to land on that because I do want to bring up the new guys. They've
All
been
right,
waiting
go ahead.
patiently. Okay, guys.
Just one thing.
Hold
If
on, Queen.
Africa
Hold
was on
on,
the
Queen. I'm
southern part,
sorry. No, sorry, Queen. Sorry. I
okay.
did
I
just.
got it. I got it.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. And yeah, we'll have an open panel. Okay, I swear. I just wanted to say again, it's the Europeans fighting amongst themselves. It's the whites versus the Spanish. They're both the same motherfucking people. They mad at people speaking Spanish, but Spanish is a European language. They didn't fought amongst themselves. So I just don't see the thing. But go ahead, Miss RM. Thank you for being patient. RMV, welcome to the panel. Can you introduce yourself, sister, with your race or ethnicity and where you're from?
Yes. Thanks for having me up. Actually, I've been on your panel before. I'm from New Jersey. I'm Black American. Generationally Black American, pre Civil War, pre Emancipation. From the South. My maternal is from South Carolina, and my paternal is from Louisiana. So, yeah, this immigration thing's really, Black Americans, I think a lot of folks kind of alluded to it when I was down in your chat. Actually, I had to get on this account when you told me that you were having issues. I was on my other account, Big Mad. But yeah, I agree with A1, the sentiment, but that's not reality, right? At the end of the day, Black countries have been trying to immigrate to the United States for decades, right? And we, Black Americans, are the trailblazers and the immigration policy in the United States, like we are in civil rights for the United States and around the world. So many other countries have emulated the Civil Rights Bill and established human rights in their own countries. But the sad thing is, and I heard what Queen is saying about, Somalia and how she has respect for Black Americans and etc. But that respect doesn't really play out well from any of the groups. Like A1 is saying that all these groups that come here to the United States don't like Black Americans. Or, I mean, it's a petty way to say it, but they undermine Black America. I'm going to say undermine. I'm not going to go into the like or love or the racism of it all. I'm just going to the economics of it all. They undermine Black Americans in every space, and don't understand really, or they're not even gracious enough to even recognize our history, understand it, how we contributed to this country and worldwide. There's no other population of people that suffered at the level of Black America. None. And I'm not here to debate that. It's just none. And there's none that has contributed to the humanity of mankind than Black America. So, and having said that, I don't understand these people that come from the Black countries that do the same thing that the immigrants do from the whitey countries or from the Asian countries. You do the same thing. You come with the same mindset, and you continue that mindset. And then you justify it by things like saying, oh, well, we just come here for a better life. We just come here for a better opportunity. We just want to send money back to our people. Really? Well, Black America, meanwhile, in parallel, while you're doing that, not contributing, but just thinking about yourselves, Black America, we have never, ever, as a collective, thought. I mean, I can sit here and talk about individual achievement too, about my family and me, and very few immigrants can compete with that, because I'm at the top of the statistic here in America when it comes to a Black woman's success. I'm one of those women. I mean, I'm 62 years old. I'm the end of the baby boomer generation. Not too many Black women can compete with me, salary-wise, educationally, economically. Can't do it. And certainly not one from, outside of the United States. But these people come here and really, and I'm going to use that, it's undermining. You undermine us. You undermine the movement. You don't even contribute to the movement and to the struggle of the progress of Black people globally. You don't. Because and the struggle. You come from countries that are in crisis and civil war, like you said, in Somalia. And, God, I've been to these nations, okay? I've been to these nations. I worked in these different countries. I worked in Asia. I worked in Europe. I worked in South Africa. So in Brazil, I know the struggle of people that look like me abroad, but a lot of those people aren't me. They're not Black Americans. And when you go travel abroad, and many of my people have not had an opportunity to do it here from the United States, but I have. And I know that many Black people, Black British, Black Germans, Black Brazilians, Black Nigerians, Black South Africans, they don't see us as them. Okay, when they see me around the world, they're shocked because they have a different image of Black Americans. And even when they come here, it's the same mindset, how they view us. And that's problematic. And then when they finally see that there are Black Americans, you use you use Black Americans, our image of people who are the poorest of Black America. And you generalize to say we're all, that way. So I think the host talked about, the wealth in Black America. We're not, and I'm proud of those Black people who are economically disadvantaged. That's what I'm going to call them. They're not poor because, I've seen poverty outside the United States and it ain't the same. Black Americans who are poor, they have been economically disadvantaged. They have been disenfranchised. So they suffer they have different challenges than what you'll see in Mogadishu, right, etc.
Can you land the point,
Yeah,
ma'am? We got a lot of people on the
Hold
panel.
on, FBA. I got it. You got a minute, RM.
yeah.
Go ahead, sister.
I will. And then you go to all these other countries. It's a different type of challenge. You can't compare yourself with Black America, and you do that. And then when you do that, you put yourself above us. And I don't see how you could do that, because there's not a statistic that you're beating us in, either domestically or globally. You're not beating us, but you come with this mindset that you are better, and you're not. And if it were not for us, you wouldn't even be here. So, and and we protect you all, because we're one of the biggest population of people that serve in the U.S. military. We protect you all around the globe. So, I don't have the same sentiment. And the fact that you guys think you're MAGA was never for you. So I'm just going to land there, and I'll just wait for the panel to open.
Okay, Sister RM. And I am kind of disappointed in our elders, our Black American elders, for for taking some of these points, just the hopping on the FBA train, hopping on this. It's funny, even the first generation, second generation of us that don't know quite what's going on, and we will never really grasp what the American, being American is. We can say the same for your children, the children that you have now, that hopefully they get a good education, or you are their education. You tell them what Black Americans did. But I feel like I feel like the younger generation are the ones coming at us as what we term xenophobic, taking this anger that has been built up for so long and just dishing it out to whoever's the new target, Again, sister, we know, it's vice versa to you, sister. Okay. You claim to know us. You claim to be traveling and getting to know us here and there. And you know us more than we know ourselves. That's what it sounds like to me. But I respect what you said, sister. And I know you guys are fighting your plight. And I wish you all the best of luck. Let's go ahead and introduce Lady J. Welcome back up to the panel, sister. Can you introduce yourself, Lady? And if you have any thoughts on the prompt or what has been said.
Yes. Hey, you guys. Of course, Lady J, American Indian, and there's a lot to say. I just want to say this is that when it comes to this immigration, at some points we have to just sit back and just understand one thing. The more people we let in, we're going to suffer. And I could go back to the 90s. And everything seemed like it was good. We had homeless people in the street. Seemed like people kept their jobs. Everything was affordable. But the sooner when 2000 came around, everybody started coming here. Everything started racking up. We're tired. And I think, and not only tired, the point what I'm making is that it's not right for people to come here and they get everything free handed to them. But the ones that actually is working here, paying taxes here, they can't get nothing. That's not fair. So this ain't have to do with being hateful. It's about reality. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. It's wrong for an average person to go to work every single day and they can't even look into their account and they don't have nothing. But let someone come over here that's not even a citizen here and they'll get everything. That's wrong. So a lot of people want to call that's being racist, that's wrong. And no, it's wrong to treat your citizens that pay into to live at. That's wrong to treat them the way you treat them. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, lady. Again, let me remind you guys. You guys are mad because we ain't paying into Uncle Sam. Y'all mad because of the same tax money that we all get robbed as Americans that goes to other nations, Ukraine, Argentina, Israel, all the shit that is sucked from America and given to other nations that have nothing to do with us. The same army that you talk about, that the black soldiers that are out there putting in work and they're our protectors. They're the ones protecting Africans. They're the ones destabilizing all these other countries across the world. I need you guys to be realistic about this and not not see the reality of shit, and like get you guys. I swear, not you guys specifically. I'm saying this thought pattern about how we need to suffer. African immigrants in general need to suffer the same way. You put in all that work for the civil rights and all that, so we could suffer too. Like I just don't understand that. But let's go to FBA. FBA Goon, welcome to the panel, brother. Can you introduce yourself with your race, your ethnicity, and where you're from, please?
Thank you for letting me, bro. Appreciate it. From Angola, and then it's gonna be African, and yeah. So I just wanted to talk to the sister here that she was, and then she brought something really good about protecting and being in the military. That's a great thing, and I like that, right? So now the thing is, with the immigration issue, it's not really you can't it's not immigrants or what. It's not that. The problem is with the politicians back home, because if these politicians are the one making these laws to facilitate immigrants to come in, then you can't stop, because at the end of the day it benefits them. When people start voting them, then they keep on staying in these powers. So you can attack all immigrants all you want, and a lot of immigrants will tell you that, what, when I came here, I sold everything. I was I was a business owner, because someone sold me this big dream, about this paradise when you come to America, right? That's marketing. And then I came on the ground, the reality was different. So I had to lose everything and start, from the scratch, and start having some of these things that you see a lot of these immigrants have, and you guys are hating on them. You got to understand that they actually started from the scratch. You guys have been here for so long, you know what I mean? Even to try to compare yourself with this immigrant, it's just does not make sense, because these people, they just got here. You guys had these opportunities for so long, and you guys were just looking down on them, and you never had to use them. So now these immigrants come in from their countries where there are less opportunities, and they're not taking these opportunities for granted, and they just take them and work really hard, and get back, get themselves back on their feet, and to be where they're at. So for you guys to start hating on the immigrants, it's really not making sense, because they're not the problem. The problem is just like the host said, the money is going to Argentina, the money is going to Ukraine. I mean, that's where the problem is. If you guys want to really solve this problem, that's where you guys should start fighting. That's where your money is going. Immigrants are working hard to be where they're at. They're not taking none of your money. The money, no bank that goes to give you loan to open up a business. It's based on the merits. So this immigrant comes in, work on their credits, and you've been here for 400 years, and you have a shitty credit. Now when you go to the bank versus an immigrant, you have a bad credit, and this immigrant has a good credit, and you want, and once they get approved for that loan, and then you say that they're taking your money. So what I'm saying, it's not like that. The problem is within, right? So look within, and then after that, but not the immigrants. Forget that in your picture. Immigrants, they're not the problems at all. Okay, it's not even 6% of your problems. Yeah, I'm gonna land on that. That's just what I wanted to say.
All right, thank you, FBA. Appreciate that. We're gonna have an open panel after Wes Batty goes up. Wes Batty is my moderator, by the way. Thank God I got one moderator on here. And
No, this is my other page, Vibes. I don't have mod on this page.
oh, you don't? Okay, hold on. Let me give it to you.
Yeah, give me mod, please.
But go ahead and introduce yourself, Wes, and then go ahead and address whatever you want to address.
Okay, so I'm really just here for the open panel. I was hearing thank you for my moderator. So I really wanted to do open panel. Let me just introduce myself. Hi everyone. I'm 21. I'm from Georgia, and I am Liberian. Yeah. What do I have to say? So I just want to say something, right? Because I've been in a few FBA panels today. I've had to deal with a couple of them. Honestly, FBAs, they exhaust me. I'm very, very happy that they don't make up all of the Black American community, because I feel like the US would be upside down. It would be a hookah lounge. So I thank God for that. Because you see what these FBAs do, right? They're on a mission, okay? To cause division within the Black community, to promote stereotypes and generalizations, to cause chaos. A lot of these people are like, they have a lot of criminal records. A lot of them are very just like, they don't offer nothing to the Black community in the first place. So that's why they spend a lot of their time, as unemployed people online, hating on Africans and Caribbeans. These are like no lives. These are bottom of the barrel individuals. African Americans have already told them to stop claiming them. So yeah, it's so funny to me when, people try to talk about, try to make a distinction, and here come the FBA cult. It's like, oh no, these African Americans are FBAs. Okay, they might be like FBA by lineage definition, but no, they don't consider themselves FBA. They're nothing like you guys. If FBAs ran the US, it would be a hookah lounge, like the ones downtown Atlanta. So I just mean that to say that I really just want to advise my African and Caribbean brothers and sisters to not focus on these individuals. And when they tell you to go home, tell them that they're a kata, because that's what they are. They think they can call people tethers and all these type of words. And that's why I have a lot of words for them when they use those type of words on me. So yeah, the problem with a lot of these FBAs, right, is they think that this is one-sided. They think they can disrespect Africans and Caribbeans, right? And my ancestors fought for you. So they think that level of entitlement, they have that level of entitlement over Africans and Caribbeans. And they don't understand that that's not how this works, right? Respect is earned. And these are entitled people that, just want everything handled to them, like handed to them. And yeah, they're not doing anything for the community. And their pimp, Tariq Nashidi. Yeah, he's a pimp. He also has a criminal record too. You have to change his name. Do your research on Tariq Nasheed. He's a grifter. He pimps out these people, right? The naive Black Americans, right? Sorry, the naive FBAs, right? He pimps them out, right? They gift him galaxies and stuff and sit on his panels and listen to him call people bushmeat eaters. Like a lot of these people are damn near retirement. They run away from the nursing home. Yeah, these are just really crazy individuals. So I'm just gonna advise my African and Caribbean people, don't listen to them, okay? They don't make up all of the, Black community. Let them keep hating and causing more division. And yeah.
Wes, I'm a switch it up and come from this approach, right, Wes? Uh, I totally don't agree with those FBAs. Now I'm gonna come in the opposite approach too. And my problem with them when they define themselves, they say foundational Black Americans, right? Listen, you ain't founded nothing. This generation, I'm 52, right? I did not have it anywhere hard as my father. I did not grow up in Jim Crow at all. Most people my age, we experience, some form of racism while we were growing up. Nothing like our fathers and mothers, and especially nothing like our grandmothers and grandfathers. They fall for that. So when I hear these individuals, foundational Black America, Negro, you were the beneficiary of, yeah, true enough, what our ancestors did, but don't sit up here. And I guess I would use that term, play the gatekeeper like you were an active participant in passing the Civil Rights Act and in any other legislation, right? By the same token, I know it's a fault on both our ends, meaning whether you're a Black American or you're an African from whatever country. And that fault lies in a lack of knowing history. Because, just like Black Africans come and, they don't know the history of African Americans, and that initiates a conflict. I don't know why my brothers and sisters over here in America have this weird misconception that Africans weren't touched by white supremacy, colonization, and oppressed mentality. Because most Africans still have that, just like most blacks do. Yeah, they know their culture they come from, but most Africans are brainwashed in some form or another.
Wait, you said
And
what?
they
You said most Africans are what?
are
Brainwashed.
brainwashed.
What do you mean brainwashed? What does that mean?
When they look at the world through blue and green eyes, meaning they have been affected mentally with white supremacist mentality, just like Black Americans have, sis.
So
They
I
have.
can, as an African, can I just say something? What
Yeah, I'll
he's
land with
saying
that.
is, yeah, thank you so much for letting me talk. Thank you. So what he's trying to say, I think that what I got is that when we come to America, the only way we know anything about America is Hollywood. I just told you that in LA, I thought that I was going to meet Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall somewhere in the streets in LA because that's what I had in my mind because of movies and stuff. I always lived in the East Coast. I have no idea what the West Coast is like. So when I went to Los Angeles, I saw stuff that I never seen in my life, not even in Africa. Okay? I'm not going to talk about it because it brings me trauma. Something to do with unhoused people. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say is whatever you see on TV, you will believe until you meet an actual person. I'll tell you something about a family member of mine. It's an older guy. He's retired now. His name is Ali. That's from my mother's side. He was working with Mayor Marion Barry. He used to be the mayor of DC. Okay. And he was one of those people that when Marion Barry went to Somalia, and a lot of people don't know that, he was very much a nice person. As my uncle told me, oh, he was so much open to the world and whatever. And then once people saw that, they had to go through something. And he was obviously in a hotel room with some lady of the night, and he was doing something that is propane. Okay, so they got him that way. Anytime someone in African American or a black person who is American does something good or gets somewhere, they just find somewhere to tear them apart. And I know that because I'm 50. And when I used to go and run in Central Park, I used to think it's a beautiful place. Then someone sat with me and told me that used to be this, and that, and African Americans used to live there, and it was a black Wall Street, and then now it's like a park. Nobody knows these things until you find someone who will tell you what that place was. Okay, so I understand that, but the fact that it's not in the books, and now in Florida, DeSantis has taken away the slavery part from the history book. So what do you think the kids that are growing up, whether they're black or anything, will think about history? It's whatever you study. Okay, and when you take it off, and I worked with Native people, right, in the school district that I used to work with.
Rejoice.
So, yeah. Anyways, I used to work with the Native, and I know they have something called residential school. Have anybody heard of that? Most people, if you ask them, they never heard of that. And what is that? I want to unalive the Indian in you and make you civilized. And then they kidnap kids, like ISIS kidnapping people in the street, put them in a place where they don't know where their kid went to, and that's why they're drinking themselves to whatever, because there is something that they cannot say, and then just inside, and then you have to medicate yourself to go through life. A lot of people do not know anything about anybody. So I'm a Somali, right? I'm not someone who's scamming anything. I actually pay taxes back. That's because of my bracket. Unfortunately, I'm not like Trump. The more you are rich, the less that you will pay taxes. Doesn't matter. That's another issue. Thank you, and I land.
Okay, before we do open panel, let's get to this person above me, M. Let's go, girl.
Okay, honey, sweetheart. Look, girl, let me tell you something, okay? Bitch, you American, okay? You are American transplant in Liberia. That is your freaking ancestry, okay, sweetheart? Yes, you, sweetheart. That
Who
is
told
your
you that?
ancestry,
I'm not American,
sweetheart.
ma'am.
Yes, you are
Hello.
American. You are an American. You are an American transplant that your ancestors were shipped over here after slavery to go and establish that little country that you're in right now.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna kick you to the comments, you Akata, because it looks like that brain is really small, right? And there's only coconut water inside. So let me educate you real quick, right? A very small percentage of your people came to my country. You have to remember there was already native Liberians on the land, aka it was called the Grain Coast before your silly little people came to my country, ma'am. You're a fool and you're a kata. And don't let me use the third word that I'm thinking of right now. Anyways, like I was saying, right, there was people already in Liberia before your smelly people came to my country, okay? And also, you guys owe my people reparations. You guys literally tried to bring that colonized mindset to Liberia, and you tried to literally oppress the native Liberians in our own country. Are you that stupid? Like, are you that dumb, ma'am, that you don't remember what your people did in Liberia and how my people didn't even have voting rights and what your people came and did and took over our land? Are you crazy? Did you forget what your people did? You owe my people reparations. You're gonna open that smelly mouth and tell me that I have American ancestors? That was hilarious. I'm gonna give you that. These are katas, bro.
I have no idea what's going on.
Me neither.
Yeah, so these Zakata. So here's the thing, right? I wanted to say something
Host,
about.
tell me
Hey,
about these
host.
akatas because they're getting on my
Hey,
nerves right now
host.
tonight.
We're on your panel, host, and people are. I'm Black American, so I
Dropping me
don't
because I'm
appreciate
calling
this
you out for
language.
what
I
you
did
freaking
not
Your
disrespect
people owe my
anybody
people
on this
reparations.
panel.
Excuse me, ma'am. Be quiet. I'm speaking. Can you are your people gonna give my, Liberians reparations for what you guys did?
y'all gonna give mine?
Are you going to give reparations to what you guys did to Liberians? Yes or no?
Did y'all not sell us?
Who sold you? No one sold you, ma'am. I'm Liberian. How did I
How
sell
old
you?
is this person?
Ma'am, Liberians didn't sell you, ma'am. I think you're confusing us with Nigeria or something. We didn't sell you. Liberians didn't sell you, ma'am.
You want to be bought back or what? I mean, here's the thing. I wanted to say something
I got
about
a couple
what's
of
really happening
FBA cool things
in
because you
Minnesota.
actually have no idea what you're talking about.
Ma'am, okay, hold on. I don't even feel like arguing right now. Ma'am, what was the percent of Black Americans that came to Liberia? What was the percent?
A very small percent. And they came with a
That's
good
my whole point.
control half the fucking natives in the fucking thing. How do you know you didn't come from that?
Ma'am, it doesn't matter. I don't want to be nothing like you anyways. But back to what I was saying, right? Are you going to give Liberians reparations for what you guys did when you went to my country? I'm just asking a question.
Because I didn't go over there.
Question, what did they do? What are you talking about? Can you please
Ma'am, get off the panel because I'm tired of you.
the
If
whole
you don't
time.
understand what I'm talking about, leave.
I do know what you're
Anyways,
talking about.
I'm having a conversation.
Answer your question.
All these other
You want me
Akatas,
to
be
answer
quiet.
your
I'm tired.
question?